Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, or as I like to call it, our little corner of the internet, which I love so very much. I just want to thank you for being here. I can't wait to go over these clips with you. I hope you enjoy it. Just remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, guys, so do your own research. And we have a special guest today. My dog Jim is going to make a little appearance so you guys can meet him. So let's go.
Participants didn't know that the learner was really an actor and the so-called sharks harmless.
You're gonna get a shock, 180 volts.
Hey! I just saw the plane. Let me out of here.
Stand up. I'm not gonna kill that man, eh? I mean, who's gonna take the responsibility if anything happens to that gentleman?
I'm responsible for anything that happens here. Continue, please.
Two-thirds of volunteers were prepared to administer a potentially fatal electric shock when encouraged to do so by what they perceived as a legitimate authority figure. In this case, a man in a white coat.
375 volts. I think something's happened to that fellow in there. I don't get no answer. He was hollering on less voltage. Can't you check it and see if he's in the right place?
Milgram's findings horrified America. They showed that decent American citizens were as capable of committing acts against their conscience as the Germans had been under the Nazis.
That's a really interesting experiment. Have you guys ever heard of the Milgram Experiment? I have seen this in TV shows before, where somebody thinks that they're shocking their friend, and it's a whole psychological thing. I don't know that just a white coat would do it for me to be, I mean, it's that word fatal, right? They know that this could be a fatal shock. Why would you volunteer for this? In any form.
If water holds energetic memory, why are we not using water as a conductor to manifest in our daily shower or bath? And also, water is said to reach every cell and subatomic particle in our body, including our DNA. Like, why are we not using our daily shower or bath or even drinking water to manifest our desired reality? You need to start doing this. If you want to learn more about why water is a conductor of memory and energetic frequency, you can look up Dr. Masaru Emoto, but I'm not going to give you a 20-minute explanation because you don't need it. This is how you're going to quantum jump and align to your desired reality using water. When you get into the shower and begin to relax, your brainwaves begin to slow down into what's known as alpha. Alpha is like the gateway to your subconscious mind. We're not necessarily in theta, but alpha is still super powerful. So because of this heightened state of consciousness that you're in, you can begin to project what you desire to experience, like what you're trying to manifest. Begin to imagine living with that thing that you desire in that current timeline or reality. And you just doing this in that deeper state, not only are you reprogramming your subconscious, but you are also charging the water with energetic memory, with the frequency of what you desire to experience. And water is said to reach every cell and subatomic particle in our body, even our DNA. So you are not only shifting your subconscious programming, you are charging your entire body and existence with this new desired reality, meaning you are shifting your frequency, which is the root of your reality.
Quite interesting. If there's anything I know is that showers are very healing. I know in many cultures, it is encouraged to shower to wash off any negativity and like just to get rid of the negative energy and visualize it going down the drain. So there is power in the shower. I'm going to get a t-shirt made. But what I will say is that what she's saying with manifestation and putting your thoughts into the water, I think there's something to that, but I would say it would work more for a bath than a shower, because the shower, it's again just like touching you and washing away. Whereas if it's a glass of drinking water that you speak your manifestation or your whatever you want into it, I think that would be much more helpful, because especially with drinking it, because then it goes in you. So it's all interesting. It's all interesting. And I know not everybody's all about the manifestation, but it does help people. So let's learn about alpacas. Did you guys know they sounded like this? Like a little squeaky toy. I want to hear it again. Look at his little nose. Adorable. And that's not even our good clip of the day. I mean, it's a good clip, but it's not even, we're off to a good start. I'm just glad that the sound is only coming through here for me because my buddy Jim is laying right here and he would go nuts at that sound. Sorry if I interrupted your pets. Tell them I said hi.
Okay, so the front of my house faces west, so it cops the afternoon sun. And my 3 bins are out the front, along with my car. You can see the pattern on the driveway. I've just noticed an interesting effect that you can see once we're inside. But this garage door has some insulating bristles around it to stop the breeze going through. And those strips of bristles, they have a part in the middle, so there's a little slit just there. So with all this afternoon sun brightening all these items, and that slit just above it, if we go around inside. Hey Peppy, hey Alfie, you can see what happens. It's made a pseudo pinhole camera, so it's projecting the image from outside up onto the ceiling of the garage. So you can see the red, green and the yellow bin, obviously in the opposite order. Then you can see the front of my car just there, and the camera doesn't really capture it, but you can also just make out the pattern on the driveway, on that pavement. So I just noticed that and thought you might find it interesting.
I wanted to share that. I thought it was a really cool example of a pinhole camera that just happened accidentally. And it also reminded me of the Griffith Observatory out in Los Angeles. I'm not sure if anybody has had the opportunity to go out there. I recommend it if you do make your way out to California. They have something called the camera obscura, and it's exactly this. It's a pinhole camera. Just a little about it. It projects an image of the outside world into a dark room through a pinhole. The camera obscura on top of the Griffith Observatory roof uses a mirror and a rotating turret to produce a reflected image that you can actually see if you go to their website. You could see downtown Los Angeles, and it's just projected onto a table. It's very cool. I don't know who invented these things, but very cool.
One of my favorite examples of malicious compliance is when alcohol was illegal in America. Wine companies started selling these cubes of fermented grapes, right? With a warning that said, do not add 3 cups of warm water and then store this in a dark place for 48 hours. They said, don't do that. Funny enough, around the same time, PBR Blue Ribbon started selling this malt extract for baking, and on the side of the can there would be like an ad for a cookbook. But a couple weeks after, you'd get a letter with no return address with a recipe of how to make beer using the malt extract. Another good one is when Germany banned swords completely. They, in like the specifics of the law, they banned a certain like length of a sword. So suddenly everybody was in the market for what they would call like these war knives, these just really long knives instead. Still the best one.
I love the wording, malicious compliance. It's really just a fancy term for a loophole, if you ask me. They've been finding them for years and they'll keep doing it. But malicious compliance makes it sound so evil.
Warning signs of satanic behavior.
I wanted to share this. This is really interesting. It's a 90s program that teaches parents the warning signs of satanic behavior in their children. I didn't know this was such a concern.
Warning signs of satanic behavior may be apparent, such as a sudden, bitterly antagonistic attitude towards family and religion, a drastic decline in academic performance, a reclusive behavior pattern, and listening exclusively to heavy metal rock music, almost to the point of addiction. When one or more of these warning signs are evident, you should look further for ritual items such as a pentagram or other satanic symbols, black or red robes, a decorative dagger or knife, a chalice or goblet, black candles, a personal diary with a black cover, which is called a Book of Shadows, and copies of publications, such as the Satanic Bible and the Satanic Ritual.
I did not know that this was such a concern amongst parents. Anybody who was the parent of a teenager in the 90s, if you're here, was this something you were concerned about? I know there's always been stuff in the media, but come on, you can't blame rock music. And we all know that journals can have black covers and not be a book of shadows. Would you be less concerned if you found a robe that was green or something? Really interesting. I love finding this old footage. Do you guys like it? Because I keep finding tons of it, and I have so many saved. It piques my interest, but I don't want to like make that what it's all about. I just love it. I love seeing the old ways. It's not that old. Hey guys, just a quick reminder that I make these videos every single day of the week. So if you're enjoying them, go on ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can join this incredible community that we are building. I love it here so much, and it's all because of you. So we're going to get right back to it. We still have more videos to show you. Thank you, and let's go. Hi. So before we get back to it, I want to take this opportunity so you can meet my dog, Jim. Some people have mentioned my dogs, so I'm going to show you Jim. Come here, bud. Oh, you're my puppy. This is Jim. All right, hold on. Hi, buddy. How cute is this? Oh, you are Mr. Photogenic. We got to get you a podcast. Don't we? So this is my Jimbo. Oh, are you groaning? Did I wake you up? I'm going to let him go back to sleep, but this is my Jimbo. Sorry, buddy. He's cute, right? I love him. My little buddy. Okay. Let's learn about the Barefoot Bandit.
I just did a deep dive on this 16-year-old who was running from the FBI for 3 years. This is Colton Harris Moore. He's also known as the Barefoot Bandit. Colton didn't have the best childhood. I'm not going to get into details, but one reoccurring issue he had with his mom, she would just be careless when it came to buying food. So there would be no food in the house, and he'd be like, yo, are you going to get some food? And she'd be like, so eventually, after living with his mom and barely having any access to food, he was like, okay, I'm just gonna run away and steal some food because I'm really hungry. So he leaves his house and he starts living in the woods, but he starts breaking into people's houses, people that reside in the town. So everyone's like, have you heard about this kid? He's breaking into our home so he can eat our food. And then some people are like, just let him be. Maybe he wants some fruit snacks. Are we really one to judge him for that? One day, the police are looking for Colton because they're always looking for Colton. In the forest, they come across this tent and it has all this jewelry, these laptops, money. They scope out the forest. Colton is nowhere to be found. And the next day, a handwritten letter is given to his mom or left on his mom's porch. It said something like, police want to play games. This is war. Colton was repping his colors. He was about it. Come to find out, when the police found that tent of his, he was in the forest lurking, watching their every move, and they still didn't find him.
I find this to actually be tragic. He was eventually caught. Let me say. It's Colton Harris Moore. He was born in 1991. He was charged with theft of hundreds of thousands of dollars in property, including several small aircrafts, boats, and multiple cars, all committed while he was still a teenager. He fled. This is very interesting. He fled to the Bahamas on July 4th of 2010, allegedly in a plane stolen from Bloomington, Indiana. He was then indicted on July 6th, 2 days later, by federal court in Seattle on charges of transporting another stolen aircraft in that state. He was still only 19 at the time. He was then arrested in the Bahamas after police shot out the engine of a boat that he was trying to flee in. 2 days later, he was extradited from the Bahamas to Miami. and then transported to Washington. He was sentenced to more than 7 years in prison for dozens of consolidated charges brought against him from 3 different counties. He was sentenced to 6.5 years ultimately for his crimes, and he was released on September 28th of 2016. He is now 33 years old. I have no idea what he's doing, but that is quite a story. And how I really hope that he got his stuff together and he's not back to his tent ways of theft, because I felt so bad for him until they started talking about how he's breaking into the houses and stealing their stuff. I mean, as a little kid, though, what are you going to do when there's no food in your house and there's no, like, you can't go get a job? Adults are just going to take you and put you into child protective services, which is not always a better choice. I'll leave my rants alone, but I think it's tragic. I hope he's okay. All right. I'm going to warn you. This guy's talking about religion a little. It's 4 minutes. If you want to skip forward, feel free to. I know it's not everybody's thing, but I just thought this was kind of interesting to share with you.
What's good? My name is Charity Crop. You know what I like? Galaxies. You know what a galaxy looks like? A hurricane. You know what a hurricane looks like? A seashell. You know what a seashell looks like? Your ear. Did you know that you resemble a galaxy? 1.618 is known as the golden ratio, the mathematical value that's found throughout the universe that seems to hint towards a common factor between everything. The fingerprint of God. You know what a fingerprint looks like? The top of your head, the inside of a head of cabbage. It seems that both your head and the head of cabbage were designed, perfectly, mathematically designed. But that would imply a designer. Is there a God? Well, the atoms in your body are traceable to exploded stars in the sky. So physicist Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson says that not only are you in the universe, but the universe is in you. You are literally stardust. The law of conservation of mass states that matter can be changed from one form into another. Mixtures can be separated or made, and pure substances can be decomposed. But the total amount of mass remains constant. In other words, the total mass of the universe is constant. Whenever matter undergoes a change, the total mass of the products of that change is the same as it was in the beginning. In fact, it is scientifically law, a fact, that your body mass has been here since the beginning of the universe. You are 13.8 billion years old. The time you've spent here on Earth is just how long you've been aware of your existence. But in actuality, you have been here since God said, "Let there be light." You said it with him. Are you God? Are you God? Speaking of God, did you know that there are about 20 numbers that dictate the state of this universe? The mass of an electron, the strength of gravity, electromagnetic force, numbers that create our universe. World-renowned physicist Dr. Brian Greene says that these numbers have been measured with incredible precision, but no one has an explanation as to why they have the particular values that they do. He says that if any one of these numbers were altered in even the slightest way, our entire universe would cease to exist. Our universe has been designed, perfectly, mathematically designed. But that would imply a designer. Is there a God? You ever felt like you were being watched, stared at? Then you turn around and see, yup, that weird guy 6 tables away was indeed staring at you. How did you know that? Could this be proof that there is some other medium by which information can be received other than the 5 senses? Do you see dead people? Probably not, but you do feel eyes. You do think about that person that you haven't talked to in months, and then suddenly they call your phone. You do dream about things before they happen. You do speak about people and then they just pop up. You have created things out of sound. Speaking of which, did you know that if you take a plate of salt and place certain sound frequencies at it, that the vibrations will cause the salt to form into perfect geometric shapes? These are pictures of sand created by simply exposing them to strong sound vibrations. Words can literally manipulate the matter around you. This is a picture of jars of rice after 27 days of speaking to them. The jar on the right, people only said, "I love you" to it. The jar on the left, people only said, "I hate you" to it. And thus, the "I hate you" jar molded astoundingly quicker. These are pictures of ice crystals. The bottom row was spoken to positively as they froze. The top row was spoken to negatively as they froze. These are the results. You can speak your world into existence. There is power in your words. John 1:1 from the King James Version of the Bible says, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." String theory postulates that the entire universe, including me, you, and this screen that you're looking at me on, is composed of microscopic vibrating strings of pure energy. Sound. Words spoken in a language that we don't fully understand. Living words. You are the living word. Are you God? If so, nice to meet you. I love you.
Whatever you may believe, I just thought that was quite interesting. So many things were interesting about it, and I don't want to get too deep into it. I just want you to remember that not every clip I put up is something that's representative of what I think. So I get a lot of very angry comments sometimes, and I'm just trying to share what's going on. We can discuss it. I think it's equally as important to share things that we don't necessarily think are true, because everybody's circulating this stuff. Everybody is. So why not have a space where we can talk about that as maybe that's not true, or maybe this is true, and just have more open minds than a lot of other spaces. I do like the idea of saying we're made of stardust. I think that's so beautiful and poetic. A lot of synchronicities too. The vibration of the salt, that's something you can see, or even water. There's a lot of really cool videos out there of this stuff. Yeah, they're always noticing, and we get caught in our own heads with all the stress of things, and when that happens, the noticing stops, and that's very sad. But you can get it back. You can decide, I want to be more mindful of what's going on around me. It's a choice we can all make. I I love noticing stuff like that. It's really cool.
You say that aging is a mistake.
Well, you know, when I was researching this book, I found that we have some real misconceptions about the aging process. For example, almost everybody believes that aging is fatal. But you look at the data and you find nobody really dies of old age. They die of diseases that accompany old age, which are largely preventable. Everybody believes that aging is irreversible. Now, that's also a misconception, because if you remove toxins from your body, if you learn to get the stress out of your life through meditation, if you change your environment, and if you undergo certain procedures like increase antioxidants in your diet, you can actually reverse the biological markers of aging, like your hormone levels will reverse. There's a sex steroid called dehydroepiandrosterone sulfate.
Lost me there.
DHEA for short. And as people grow old, this sex steroid, it goes down, but you can actually reverse it.
I mean, I don't know the extent to which this is true, but I mean, it definitely checks out. Obviously, if you take the toxins out of your body and you do a detox, you're going to feel better. Your body's going to work more effectively. I don't know that you can completely reverse aging, but it's interesting. We can definitely be healthier, right? And live longer and have more experiences. Let me get out of the way. All right, this clip I have not listened to the entire thing. So.
What? Oh, you all think smoking kills? Let me tell you something. Do you know that the amount of people dying from diabetes are 3 times as many people dying from smoking? Yet if I pulled a Snicker bar, nobody would say anything. Do you know that the leading cause of lung cancer is not actually a cigarette? It's your DNA. You could smoke for years and nothing will ever happen to you. This whole war against smoking is just to restrict the farming of tobacco. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I use these arguments, even though I just made them up, with a group of my friends. And the results, 5 of them believed what I said. 2 of them started smoking. Words, when said and articulated in the right way, can change someone's mind. They can alter someone's belief. You have the power to bring someone from the slums of life and make a successful person out of them. Or destroy someone's happiness using only your words. Does that seem a bit too good to be true? A simple choice of word can make a difference between someone accepting or denying your message. You can have a very beautiful thing to say, but say it in the wrong words and it's gone. I have a son who's 4. And he had this bad habit of writing on the walls with crayons. And one evening I walked into his room and he's going at it, just writing and drawing and so on. And I said, hey. Are you stupid? Don't you ever do that again. And guess what happened? He did it again. Nobody likes to be threatened. Nobody likes to be intimidated. His pride would not allow it. He did it again just to spite me. A week later, I walked into his room and again, he's going at it. And this time, he was even looking at me just... I came down and I said, sweetie, come here. Don't do that. You're a big boy now. And he never did it again. Because his pride wants him to be the big boy. Have you ever wondered why nobody cares about global warming, even though it's a very serious issue? It could kill all of us. Because when you go home and you flip on the TV and you see a scientist trying to talk about global warming, it goes something like this. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see from the graphs here, the statistics for 2014, it shows the water level is rising. This table shows that the monodioxide level on the third ozone layer is in a very alarming position. The message never get across. But most importantly, if you are a person who's a role model, if you are a person who's been admired, anything you say could be believed. Anything you utter could be taken as truth. My friend Nasser, he loved his father, idealized his father. He would do anything to make him happy. But his father was the kind of person who's not easy to impress. And year after year, Nasser tried, and his father was like, yeah. First year in college, Nasser got straight A's. And he thought to himself, this is it. This is what will finally make my dad proud. He picked up the phone. He called his dad. Dad, I got straight A's. Are you proud? Please tell me you're proud, Father. Yeah, listen, son, I'll have to call you back. I'm busy. I'm busy was the single sentence that broke the camel's back. And he started drinking, doing drugs, hanging out with the wrong crowd. Nasser, why? Why are you throwing your life away? If the one person in the world that I care about the most doesn't care, then why should I? And one evening I got the phone call. Nasser's in the emergency room. Drug overdose. I rushed to that hospital. I saw him on that bed. And I saw that machine go beep, beep, beep. And I saw doctors try to bring him back to life. Clear! 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 It's clear that a single word could have saved this life. Words have power. Words are power. Words could be your power. You can change a life, inspire a nation, and make this world a beautiful place. Isn't that what we all wanted? Isn't that why we are all in this hall? Your mouth can spit venom, or it can mend a broken soul. Ladies and gentlemen, let that be our goal.
Well, that ended up being far more profound than I was ready for. But it's so true. I mean, even on the internet, comments, I know I mentioned the comments earlier, but you have no idea what somebody goes through. Well, I have no idea what you guys are dealing with, and I have the pleasure and the honor of getting to talk to you in little bits and pieces. But some people make these comments, not just here, I mean, just anywhere, and they don't know these people. They have no idea what they're going through in their personal life or what it took to be able to make that content, and that's just that one example. I mean, go through the checkout line somewhere. You have no idea. Maybe this person's in a bad mood and we just use that as the excuse. Oh, they're just like a jerk. So you just give it back. You don't know. What if that person's not a jerk? Because that someone means something to someone who doesn't look at them like that. You know? So people have bad days, and on those bad days, what you really need is the people you don't know that you interact with to not beat you down further. That's why it's so important, no matter what you're going through, no matter how tough your day is, it is so important that you are putting out positivity. It really is, because it's not just for you. It feels good to make people feel happy, but what he's saying, what I'm sure that story is true, but it is absolutely true. If that guy's dad just said, "I am proud of you," who knows what he could have become? And the fact that that one person has that much power to tear down an entire existence, the magic of an entire soul, is you have that power every day with every interaction that you have. I have that power. You have that power. Your kids have that power. Your managers and employees have that power. We all do. So please be mindful with what you're choosing. Don't let your internal struggles or your at-home struggles make anybody else's life harder. Because if I can show up for you and you can show up for me, we can fix it. We can fix these problems in the world. You don't need to know somebody to be kind to them and to give them just, you know what, like, you're being a certain way. I might not need that right now either, but I'm not going to add to this. And I know That was a thing. I spoke a lot here. I'm trying not to go on my rants quite as much. I know that's not everybody's bag, but this is so important. This is the ultimate message. It really is. Just be nice. Just be nice despite maybe they are a jerk. Who cares? Does that mean you need to turn into one too? You don't. Just be good. Be a goodness and force of good in this world. That's what I urge you to do. And with that being said, we're going to go to the good clip of the day, which is really cool.
This woman is legendary. For over 30 years, Simona Kosick lived a life straight out of a fairy tale. No electricity, no running water, just her, the ancient Białowieża forest, and her wild companions. Imagine sharing your home with a kleptomaniac crow, a lynx you call your daughter, and a 400-pound boar that thinks it's a dog. Sounds unreal, right? But Simona wasn't just living off the grid. She was rewriting what it means to connect with nature. Born into a family of artists, she didn't just paint or sculpt. Instead, she made the forest her masterpiece, dedicating her life to protecting it. Her stories weren't just in journals, they came to life in her films and books, showing the world why this forest, one of Europe's last, is worth fighting for. This isn't just the story of a woman. It's the story of a legend who turned a secluded lodge into a sanctuary and proved that our bond with nature is the most powerful connection of all.
She lived in that lodge for 30 years trying to protect that forest. What a beautiful thing to give everything that you have and your entire bit of time to do good for nature. Because it's not just about other people. It's about all creatures that live on this planet. And mindfulness and just caring. We just have to care. That's all. We just have to care. So I just want to say thank you for being here. If you stuck with me through this entire video, I think we've got the audio issue that was happening these last couple of episodes fixed. We better. Yeah, so I will be doing a Christmas episode, as I mentioned, and I just hope everybody is just having a great day, a great week. I hope family is good. I hope health is good. I hope you're staying positive and things are going your way. And I hope that mindfulness and gratefulness are a huge part of that, both in you and towards you, because you are a beautiful soul and you deserve it. And you're awesome. Remember that. So I'm going to get going. I want to say I love you and good night to my grandma and my beautiful family. You guys are all the best and I love you guys. And I just want you to have all the happiness in the world. So go get it. Good night, guys.